When I was on maternity leave with my child, at one time I encountered terrible supernatural phenomena, which I can't explain to this day. It all started when we moved into the apartment of a deceased relative of my husband. We made repairs and started to live there. The apartment is 2 rooms. In one we made a nursery, and the second was both the living room and our bedroom. So from the first night my Valka began to sleep restlessly. We left her in a crib in the room. But often I was awakened by her crying. It was all strange. Because in the other apartment she was always quiet at night. I'd go up and check on her. And everything seemed normal, and she wasn't hungry, and she was dry. You rock her, put her down, go to sleep yourself. Things got worse when my husband went away for a week on a business trip. At night Valka started screaming every half hour. I regularly woke up, but the few times I went into the room, saw by nightlight, as a furry little beast sniffed under the crib. I thought I was imagining things. I rocked her, put Valka to bed, and went back to my room. I was like a zombie. I couldn't tell where I was dreaming and where I was real. It seemed that I just closed my eyes, and then crying came from the room again. Yawning I came in, and immediately on the threshold I froze with my mouth open. Above my baby's crib stands hunched over an old woman wrapped in a gray shawl. And she reaches out with crooked fingers to my Valka. In my sleep I first thought I was imagining. Then everything else as in a fog because my heart was ready to jump out of fear. I took a step toward the crib, but I feel something holding me. I looked down, and there was an incomprehensible creature, furry, the size of a cat. But it stands on 2 legs or paws, and the front ones are clinging to my robe. And its eyes are vile and malicious. I finally woke up. I kicked the creature away from me and rushed to the old woman. And she disappeared right in front of me. Disappeared into thin air. I grabbed Valka, crying, and I'm already thinking that I could have just imagined it all from fatigue. But then how can you explain that the hem of my robe was torn? It's a good thing I thought to look at it this morning. Otherwise I would have run away from the apartment. In general, before my husband arrived, my mother slept over. We rolled Valka's crib into my room, and the door to the nursery at night closed. So, all night before my husband arrived, we didn't sleep well. We heard some strange knocks from the room. The floorboards creaked with footsteps, and it was as if someone was whispering loudly. We did not dare go in there. As soon as my husband arrived, all the mystique of the apartment disappeared. But I didn't put the crib back in that room. By the way, once, when my husband and I were taking apart the balcony, we found an incomprehensible bag, where there were candles, earth wrapped in newspaper, and all sorts of other incomprehensible stuff. Of course, I thought it was a relative of his. But that old woman didn't look like her, and everyone said she was a decent woman. Anyway, until we moved out of there, I never spent the night alone in that apartment. If my husband went on a business trip, I went to my mother's. By the way, then told me that another relative, who lived there after us, laid hands on himself there. So, I think maybe that old woman contributed to it.
Thank you for watching and supporting me. Subscribe to the channel. There will be many more interesting things.